third one is I will evaluate the current influence on people's psychology and what people think, people thought because of the cruel punishment. And the last, I find an effective solution to reduce crime rate, except those cruel punishments. You know that treason and rebellion. Let me explain what is treason. What the treason is, someone want to overturn the dominate from the emperors, and the rebellion is like the same meaning as treason. And the first is cut in pieces. Cut in pieces is deal with treason and rebellion, and also time. Later I will introduce about what is cut in pieces and time, so don't worry about it now.
Good point.
Currently, although punishment for treason and rebellion is still exists, but these two crimes are no longer can see in the law. But in ancient time, treason and rebellion took the first place in serious crime ranking list together, because it intensively menaced for the emperors.
Okay, Nick, I want you to go back. I want you to go back to that quote and tell us why that shouldn't be there.
What?
Okay, this quote is fine. This is a perfect example. Help Nick. Good quote, but what just happened? Did you just read that off the slide?
This.
Like word for word?
Currently.
Okay, stop. Okay, so what happened when Nick read that slide, that quotation? He read it, and what happened to his body?
Face the slides and give his back to us.
We lost you. Okay, so this is the perfect time to have that quote on the board. Do not read that quotation out to your audience. Use those words at the top, and you can just explain how treason and rebellion used to be seen in ancient tribes. These two ideas were in ancient China, in ancient China, treason and rebellion were the most serious crimes, seriously ranked crimes. Okay, you don't need to read out the whole quote. You can just mention that whoever cited this, wherever you got this from, you need to say, I've included a quote by Scott, but I'm just drawing out the main point of this reference for you. Okay, you don't need to read the whole thing out to us. Okay, so I'm just pausing there because I want you to think about it in the moment. Okay, so sorry to interrupt your presentation, but that was a classic example of what happens. Okay, so if you carry on to where you were.
Now, let me to introduce about one punishment. It's a very bloody punishment. It's cut in pieces. The way to cut in pieces is kill a live person with sharp knives and cut from his body, from his chest. And the way to let him die is he lost too much blood and then he died. So if you want more pictures, here we are. These are the pictures, and as we can see, the emperors are extremists, and also they are divided into different types. And the most extremist type is about 3,700 costs, one person. Another type is tiny. Tiny is used, courageous and rope were used, and the criminals' arms and legs were tied with rope linked with four carriage. Carriage is a traditional car linked with a horse. And then the executioner made the horse frightened and then ran away. So the result, let's say the process is first let the person go to tied with the corridor and then frighten it. The last is like this. This is an example, and also a meaning for this expression. Example, a person called Shang Yang is a Chinese Asian person. He was a pioneer of the law, and he made most of the corporal punishment in ancient China. Idiom side, when heaven sends down calamities, there is no hope of worrying them. When man brings them up on himself, there is no hope for it exists. Another word is that I think is that if you don't want to serve the punishment, and you cannot give it to other people. Let's move on to the second part. The reason why parallel punishments were taken. The first is to protect the position and the profits of the dominators, and second is make the rule class numb. Numb is make there is no other source of rule classes, and they will follow the mind of the employers, and it's easy for the employers to to control the whole country. But one thing we cannot ignore is that some of the core punishments had prevent the crime effectively, because most of the person are fear of the punishment, and they cannot let him to touch the law. There are bad influences for people. Most of the in today, most of the adults to educate their children also think that if there is no punishment, there was no ground. So lots of parents beat their children when they have bad score or made some mistakes. And also during the Cultural Revolution is about 1890 in China, when criminals were asked to wear a high hat in their head and then lead through the streets and to warn the public, and also the public can beat him with tomatoes and something like that. And also some of the criminals even hit until die. It's like before. And although there is no cruel punishment at all, but there is also some unlawfully methods were using during the arrest process, and it means because of the traditional source in China police officers' mind, if a criminal aren't honest enough to answer the officer's question, it will also some cruel punishment for him, like beat him until die, and it really exists. Privilege still exists. Privilege is that some government officers and some people have a high level and have a lot of money, have special can have some special rights in our society. In details, for example, military cars can turn left or turn right without the traffic rules, and most of the government officers have a great income, but no one checks them. But now, some of people in the government check them and arrest them. And for some poor peoples, they suffer inequality law, and there is almost no welfare for their lives. For example, in China, people who doesn't work and he is very old and he have no child, he will just get about 60 pounds for a month. So it's not for him for him life. I found one effective solution is about education. I think education is an effective way to deal with crime, except except punishment, because for younger generations, it's not only will become useful person, but also will become criminals in the future. so education is very significant. Schools have responsibility for this issue. Teacher can not only teach course in school, but also have to teach law and give person about how a good person will be, and tell him what can they do, what can you not to do. So thank you for listening.
Okay, well done, Nick. Thank you very much. Okay, now is our session, we have to get to 228 in a moment, so we'll come back and just pick up, I think, our feedback. Okay, so we've just got a couple of suggestions for you. So if we go to 228 now.